Primetime. That's the name.
Primetime.
Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime, primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.,
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes,
Oh, my God, this is ridiculous.
and Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
Oh, yeah, getting ready to rock and roll with a little XL Primetime next couple of hours. We basically keep your day going because you tune in early and you stay late. And that's what we like about 1010 XL Nation out there. So welcome in. Beautiful day. Chamber of Commerce weather. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
If we could just put a stamp on this and just say, let's just keep doing this.
Heck yes.
Yeah,
Let's
I love it.
Yeah. I think there are places like San Diego, and I'd have to go back and look at the average temperature, but they don't really experience winter or anything like that. And the average temperature is probably around this
Similar.
every single day.
Well, it doesn't
right?
rain in Southern California.
Yeah. It hardly ever gets in the way of a good time. But like I want seasonal change, but this right here, yeah, you could give it to me for about $250.
Yeah, because in a couple of months it's going to get
It's
scorching.
gonna be
I don't mind the scorching.
Huh?
I don't mind the scorching.
You don't?
I mind like month after month after month of it, but I don't mind the scorching every once in a while.
Okay, it's coming.
Sweating.
All right.
I know it's coming.
Training
Believe me,
camera,
I
it's
know.
coming.
Leon's got, he goes, I got the towel out
Yeah, I
right
got
now,
the
just
towel
thinking
out
about it.
I do. I can lay it on the bed.
All right, so you could say if you want, like right now, the countdown is on. Next week, we will be a day away from the media mock draft, and that will span Jaguars Today and XL Primetime. And there's at least a little bit of chatter out there, although we haven't had too much about, I don't know, maybe moves to make a big step in the first round of the draft. There are 16 players that are going to be there in Vegas, Pittsburgh, NFL draft night. Does that sound like it's down just a little bit from what we normally
16
have?
players?
16 right now, I believe, are confirmed.
Not including the number one overall pick.
Right, yeah,
That's
because
He will not be there.
Fernando has said he's staying with his family.
That's a little low.
It
I
does
would
sound a
think,
little low.
Comparably to last year. How many people last year? You know,
I can
I'm
go
always
back.
thinking it's somewhere between 22 to 25 they usually show.
Yeah.
Is Pittsburgh a cool city?
Yes, bro.
Is it?
It is.
It is
bro.
actually
Okay.
It's a
really-
fun
It's
city.
a
You
really
would-
good
I
city,
would have
actually.
guessed the complete opposite.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
embrace the hell out of it because there's just certain little districts in that area that
Within
you
each
can
area,
easily
within the
walk
area,
to,
right.
get to, and
Love a nice walkable city.
it's just that part of it's good. You're just going over the bridge to get to one side of the district, and
Yeah,
you can
the
go to
strip-
south, and you know
The
it.
Go to
strip, yeah,
Oakland and
the
it's
strip
really
district
nice.
is a real nice district. Got nice little lounges, clubs, jazz bars, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something else, JJ. The campus at the University of Pitt in Oakland, the Oakland area, my God.
Mm.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
Nice.
I was just thinking Steel City, snow
Yeah.
all year,
There's definitely some areas
hard
where
folks.
Yeah.
It's cold.
just nothing but hard
It's cold
working.
and they hard.
Yeah, and just like low rent bars everywhere, which I'm
Nah.
fine with.
There's some of those
but-
too.
I'm a believer in dive bars.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
exactly.
bars. I used to go to Sweet Georgia Brown all the time.
But
Yeah.
it just doesn't strike me as a place like if you're getting drafted in the first round that you would
Oh, bro.
necessarily be excited
Bro,
about going out after.
Yes, bro. Hey, listen,
Okay.
my rookie year, there's a strip where the fans, when they notice you go down this strip and you drive your car and you let your windows down to see who you are, and all the fans will run to that sidewalk and they're waving the table.
Big
terrible
sports town.
Oh, yeah, big sports time.
Come
That
on,
is
JJ.
awesome.
This is where he walked down the street, saw the Jag, and bought the Jag.
Yeah, of course.
That part.
And when you and Mario Lemieux were hanging
Spinning
out.
in the
Spinning
showroom.
on the top, the Jag.
Oh, yeah, when I didn't know that was Mario Lemieux.
Yes,
that bought me dinner.
exactly.
Yeah, I know. We smoked cigars and everything. We broke bread.
All
Didn't
right,
know.
listen, this is a great story because you haven't heard this in a while. This is Leon's locker room. Honestly, this is good.
Yeah.
Now, the Lemon Pepper Locker Room with Leon Searcy. Served up by Wingstop.
All right, Wingstop's got specials.
They
Well, the
always got special.
Well, the special is that they stay open until 1 a.m. All right, delivery, and you can get those wings while you're movie binging. Get those
Yeah.
hot, crispy wings at 1 o'clock
Yes.
after midnight. So here's the story.
Or whatever you're watching.
Right,
whatever
whatever
you're
you're
watching.
watching.
Who knows?
Whoever you're watching it with.
So the
Scoring at home.
story about me and Mario, me and my girlfriend at the time, we were at dinner, and the maitre d' came over there and said, "Hey, there's he didn't even say the guy's name. He said there's a guy in the back that
He
wants."
expected you to know.
Exactly. He expected me to know who the guy was. He said, "There's a guy in the back room that wants to buy you dinner." I said, "Okay, cool, fine." And then he said, initially buy me dinner. Then he said, "Hey, he wants to welcome you back there with him and some of the guys."
Nice.
So me and my wife get up. We go back there. There's food everywhere. There's wine. There's spirits. There's cigar smoke.
Spirits. Love spirits.
Yeah, it's all on the table.
Nothing better than spirit.
And I'm talking to him, and he's a cool guy, built, tall.
That hair.
Yeah, you know,
6'6", right? Close to 6'6".
At
all
this
this-
point, he probably has that mullet, that like curly haired mullet.
He did have that
Yeah.
mullet.
So he's taller than you, right? He's like
Yeah, he's
6'5",
taller than me.
6'6".
Yeah, all his teeth, everything was going pretty well for him, right? So I'm having a good time with this guy smoking or whatever. And then he said, congratulations on to be the first round pick and stuff like that. I said, hey, man, I appreciate it. I just thought he was a fan. I really did. I just thought it was a big dude. So I go back in the locker room and I said, man, you know, met this real cool cat. And I'm talking to Rob Woodson. I said, man, I met this real cool cat last night. He bought me dinner, cigars, drinks, whatever. And he said, what did he look like? I was about 6'6". But he said, what was his name? I said, he told me his name was Mario. And he said, damn rookie. I said, was it Mario Lemieux? I said, yeah, it sounded like that. He's only the greatest hockey player of this time right now.
Yeah.
Lives in Pittsburgh. I said, wow, I didn't know that.
Maybe the greatest player in the NHL at that point, too.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I didn't know.
It's the best. It's the best, honestly. Like, one of the great stories was Dick Schaap way back when, and he told great stories, and they would go to wherever, Sardi's or whatever, and he takes Muhammad Ali to dinner to meet, to whatever, to have dinner. They sit down, and he brings another gentleman with him, and they're telling stories and this and that, and just great baseball stories from the other guy. And finally, Muhammad Ali says, and what's your name again? He goes, Tom Seaver. He had no idea who he was. No idea.
See, I don't know if that's incredibly like humble of Mario Lemieux to not introduce himself to you as Mario Lemieux, or it's the complete opposite. It's just like him expecting you to know who he is, or him just being a humble guy. And like, I don't even need to tell him.
Well, here's the thing. If he knew who I was because I was drafted, I was on TV and everything like that. So I think the assumption was that
you knew who the biggest star in the city was.
Yeah.
Only you didn't.
I didn't do my research.
So let me ask you, was this before
It was either him or Neil
after?
O'Donnell was the biggest star. Yeah, one of them.
Before or after you were driving down the street and the Jag was spinning on the top?
This was before. This was before. Yes,
all right.
It was before. Yeah. Yeah. I told that story before, where I saw the Jaguar spinning in the showroom floor, and I bought it, and I drove it, and I remember
You walked in and cut the guy a check, right?
Yeah, I wrote it right there. So I'm driving because I didn't have a car yet.
No haggling.
I didn't have a car, so I'm driving it to practice, and I remember.
Yeah, that salesman got off.
I remember going to practice, and I see Woodson again. I saw John Jackson, and I saw Cornell Lake.
What color was it?
It was black with brown interior.
Nice.
And I remember.
And the key thing was, it's a convertible.
That's a convertible. So when I'm driving it to practice for the workouts, I read Rod Woodson's lips. He said, "Look at this Miami mofo." That's exactly what he said.
You had the top down.
And then
I had the
winter
top
came.
down. I had the top down playing Luke,
And then
Oh,
winter
hell
came.
yes.
and then the winter came.
Playing Luke.
Yeah,
And that thing got traded in.
yeah. I couldn't. Yeah, I sent it back.
Yeah.
I sent it back home. Yeah, it was cold, bro.
Oh, that's beautiful. So we don't know whether any of these cats will buy a Jaguar Johnny on the spot when they're in the Berg, but you got 16 guys that are going to be there. Ruben Bain, one of them. I wonder if his plans will change with the latest. It's a sad, scary story when you talk about what is coming out now about Ruben Bain, but it had been out. It had happened. How long ago?
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
I remember it when it came out.
Going into his sophomore
Yes.
season at Miami.
Yeah. And then obviously it's
Okay, so explain the story real quick.
For the listeners.
big story now, and it was a auto accident that left a young lady in a coma. And then 3 months later died from injuries. And the story now comes out, and everyone's wanting to say, well, all the NFL teams are 100% aware, which they are. But it's just interesting that a lot of
But
people
now
who
their
report,
fan bases are.
right, that reporting on it has not been. They've not been on top of this, whereas now they said, well, everybody knew that. They're aware of that.
Mhm.
Well, it's 2 years ago. Yes, you can go back and find out these stories. And
It was tragic. Absolutely. I mean, it was tragic to bring it up again. I'm sure the family's not happy that they have to deal with this twice.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't mention the name of it, but it's circulating somewhere where they're getting that Ruben Bain killed our child.
Right, but here's the key. The key to this, fellas, all the fan bases know about it now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now it's going to be much harder to draft him and sell it to your fan base,
Mhm.
which means he's going to fall. The question is how far? And does he fall to what number?
Mhm.
And then what do you do?
And
What number are you talking about?
The only number that matters right
Oh my
So you think
gosh!
when- you
If
think
he
he's gonna
falls
fall
all
out?
the way,
out
yeah.
the first round, know where it's going.
Are you insane,
gonna-
bro?
that ain't
Are you high on drugs?
Yeah, that
Bro,
ain't
that's
Ruben
a-
Bain's
that's
not
a
even going to drop
hard-
out of the top 10, bro. Man, you think
I
they
agree.
really care about that? Sadly, they don't.
Yeah, it's funny that
I think it's a difficult sell to your fans.
You
about
think the fans care about that?
Listen to me. I think.
Oh, you don't know fans.
Listen to me.
bro.
I think it's. I think it was released purposely by somebody. Again,
Of course it was.
yeah, for
Again,
him,
for
for him to
that-
come.
for that
specific
probably a team
reason.
that wants him.
For that specific
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
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 What about Jalen? What about Jalen Carter? What about that
Right.
one?
All that
How did
stuff
he
was
involve?
out there. Yeah.
That stuff about him killing it.
Were
Yeah,
Eagles
yeah.
fans adamant they didn't want him?
No,
they don't care.
No, they want.
It's just the way it is. No one cares. man.
I don't. I mean, I think
It was a
you
traffic
will
accident.
definitely get pushback. There's no doubt.
He
you
didn't.
will.
It wasn't a
Yeah.
DUI
It wasn't.
manslaughter.
I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying you will get pushback on that. That's all I'm saying.
There'll be-
I find that hard to believe.
Right. It
man.
might be a minority, but it will be a loud minority, which is what
Yeah.
they'll try and do. But yeah, most fans, no, they want the best player. That's it is.
Sadly, most fans
cold world.
care about his arm length size more than they do past transgressions.
Well, I think they just made sure that they're not going to bring up the arm length anymore.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Well,
That's not coming up
He's
with
clearly got an arm length from the law. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he has
See
that
what you did
baggage,
there.
and then we're going to find out whether or not it's
Look,
going to.
No response from these two because they
Yeah.
know.
No, I just feel
They know
I,
it's right.
I feel bad for everyone all around.
Yeah, me
like
too.
if he wasn't drinking and it was just an honest accident, that's terrible
Yeah, but we
for
don't
him
know.
as
We
well.
don't know he was, and it's just we don't know anything really.
Right.
R-
Because-
right, but they didn't do anything at the scene, so they probably didn't think he was intoxicated. I don't know. I'm not going to put myself in a cop situation there, but you would think if he was messed up, it's 4 a.m, you hit somebody on the interstate, they probably would do their
Be
due
checking,
diligence
yeah.
and make sure that this guy's not totally messed up.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we break, I do have really sad news about the media mock draft.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC.
We
This is
had
next Wednesday.
Right.
It
well,
is.
first we're back. That's number one.
What do you- Oh
Okay.
yeah, we're back on the
We're
media
back
mock
on the
draft
media
this
mock
year.
draft.
Yes.
That's big.
Taking over for the second half of the draft after Jags today, of course. But that's not the news. The news is I got a text this morning from Dave Campo, who is scheduled to do our Dallas pick. He will not be making it because he has a hair appointment.
Oh,
I think
vanity, coach.
Yeah.
I think the key word there is appointment. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, it's already on the calendar.
It's 3 more syllables than cut. Okay.
Yeah.
And appointment is a whole
well, he
different
did say
dynamo.
haircut. I added that
Okay,
in to
all
make
right.
it
I
sound
thought-
more feminine, to
Yeah.
be fair.
No. Yeah.
But I'm just joking. It was he did say haircut.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
We're
but when-
we're still giving him grief for that. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Look, he said, because I'm going to stay as stylish as I can. He goes, I married a young, beautiful Kay.
He has
I'm
said
going to
that
stay
many
as
times.
stylish as I can. So he knows,
Yes.
he
Dude,
knows
if
exactly
you have a
what
head
he's
of hair
doing.
like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at this
you gotta
point in
keep
your
it.
life, you got to take care of
Yeah,
it, man.
I agree.
I agree.
All right. So,
And he's a man of his word. He puts it on the calendar. He makes an appointment. I'll
gotta
be
go.
there.
And Kay has definitely filled up his
He is
schedule.
letting
in
his boy,
Dallas.
he is letting his boys down. Let's make
no,
no
he's
mistake
not.
about that.
He's not.
A little bit.
I'll find a replacement. No problem.
Yeah. Get the great Brad Sham or
Right-
somebody.
Exactly.
I feel like Robert De Niro, right? A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
All right, so let's get into the Travis Hunter talk. Now that one insider has started a little bit of a firestorm, the other insider, and they're both battling back and forth for who you consider the top one, Schefter v. Rappaport. So we will get into it coming up, what Schefter had to say about the original report and Travis Hunter coming up on XL Primetime.
XL Primetime. Driven by Big Number 1 Duval Ford. Elite service for elite companies. Like your kid's Little League team.
Let's play ball.
A lot of passions,
Who says me? I'm the captain.
questionable fundamentals,
You ever see him play?
and playing for the love of the game.
The way I see it, we're ambassadors of the game.
1010XL. Real people, real sports. Real Duval.
On the First Coast, we have the backs of those who protect our community. That includes our canine officers out there every day with JSO and police across our area, tracking suspects, finding missing adults and children, putting their lives on the line. Canines United make sure these four-legged heroes get the gear and training they need to come home safe. Join the 9K for Canines. Every step supports local police canine units. Sign up now at caninesunited.org because in the Bold City, we take care of our own.
Roll through the offseason with AA Automotive and 1010XL. The draft is coming. Who's headed for Duval? I'm all ears. Draft coverage is brought to you by Fleming Island Center for Clinical Research and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
Spring is here. Time to get your lawn ready before summer heat and bugs set in. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. They offer preventative chinch bug treatments, pre-emergent weed control, and granular fertilization, all with no contracts. This helps prevent problems before damage occurs, keeping lawns thicker, greener, and stronger. Call today to schedule your spring treatment. Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Get ready for an unforgettable night with the legendary Bill Murray. The icon of Caddyshack and SNL takes the stage at the Florida Theater. This isn't just comedy. It's a high-energy mix of music, storytelling, and pure entertainment. From the Grand Ole Opry to rocking out with the Blood Brothers, Bill Murray delivers a show like no other. Don't miss out. April 19th at Florida Theater. Grab your tickets today for Bill Murray and his Blood Brothers at floridatheater.com.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
April showers bring flowers. They also bring septic problems. And that's not the kind of spring surprise you want in your yard. Or worse, in your shower. Before a small issue turns into a big, messy situation, call Duck Duck Rooter. During April showers, Septic Powers promotion. Schedule a septic tank pump out at regular price, and Duck Duck Rooter will include a main sewer line camera inspection for an additional $99. See what's going on underground before you smell it. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Looking to elevate your game night experience? Look no further than Best Bet. We're not just a card room, we're your destination for excitement, fun, and big wins. Whether you're a seasoned player or new to the game, we have something for everyone. Join us at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, or St. Augustine for thrilling tournaments, exciting promotions, and a vibrant atmosphere that will take your game night to the next level. Elevate your game night at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hey, Hicken here. Beat the spring cleaning rush and call Zero Res. This month, take 20% off your whole home air duct cleaning and start breathing fresh air again. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com.
Zero Res.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years. And our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Cranking along a Tuesday, beautiful one right here on the First Coast. XL Primetime, Joe C., Matty Hayes. Check out his stuff at USA Today Sports, the Hurricane Hall of Famer, Big Sirs, and JJ, as we are going to get to our XLP Big Three coming up in just a little bit. Today is running backs. And I said to Jaguars today earlier, this is one of the rooms that over the years they have drafted pretty dang well. Maybe it has something to do with picking inside the top 10, but they did have a couple of them that definitely will likely land in the XLP Big Three. So we will do that coming up. But Travis Hunter was in the news when the Jaguars either were at the owners' meetings with Liam Cohen talking and James Gladstone talking, and of course Ryan O'Halloran from the Florida Times Union was out there and did one big piece on the whole conversation about where Travis Hunter is. And then you fast forward to Ian Rappaport on NFL Insiders, basically saying that it's just basically going to be Travis Hunter at cornerback. That's it. That's it. Matter of fact, go ahead and roll the tape because we just want to set it up as to how the story unfolded. And then it got bigger and bigger.
They expect him to be a full-time corner, part-time receiver, which when you talked to teams last year, that probably was where they thought the value was and really where they thought the production would lie. So maybe this coming year, we're going to get to see the player that they drafted, that they traded up for last year.
So one interesting part of this is that Rappaport said full-time cornerback, and you heard it, Leon, and he said part-time receiver. That has been lost in all of this social media as it's taken off. Did you catch that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, the unicorn is gone, I think, in my opinion, and because the team has all the leverage now. I mean, you go 13-4 essentially without him the back half of the season.
Right, missing 10 games.
And another part of it is he hurt himself in practice, all right? So it's got to be tedious on his body to be going both ways, jumping up here, down, whatever, backpedaling and stuff like that. So sometimes the team's got to save the player from himself. But he's lost all, and he's going to be, listen, he's going to be a good soldier. It's not going to be the Jaguars say, hey, you playing corner. It's going to be a conversation like this. Hey, listen, you know, you can help us more here. And you could play a little there,
right?
But you can help us more here. And I think him being a team player, which he seems to be, I think he's going to follow suit.
And I'm okay with that. Depending whatever route they go, and this is the big part of this, we really don't know exactly the route that they're going to go. We don't know how healthy he is. You're hoping that you're going to see him 100%.
First and foremost.
Right. You don't know how healthy he is, but I think all indications are, at least from their side, they're not going to tell you anything they don't want to or have to, but they're basically saying he's on schedule. Things are looking good. They may even said he's ahead of schedule. But then Travis Hunter comes out and basically says to the Rap Sheet report, where are you getting this? And it does open up the conversation. Now, the one thing Rappaport did say, full-time corner, part-time receiver, that's been lost in all of this because everyone has basically taken the report and said, hey, he's on one side of the ball and that's it.
So I can tell you,
that's not the case right now.
Here's
at least
my
right
issue
now.
for it. My issue with it is his ceiling as a receiver, I think, is greater than corner. I really do. Now, do they want to invest that time in him? Do they want to invest, or do they think they got to win now because their window's in a certain area? But you saw what he did on the field in college, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, he's not the biggest guy, so it's taking that pounding of it that an NFL receiver takes is a big deal. But that dude is electric with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Electric.
Yeah, and I think that's what they were leaning into as much as anything. And I just felt like if you're talking about what is the NFL, the highest level of football, that means whatever you're being asked to do, you got to be the best at it. You can't just
but they
be
sold it as
average.
But they sold it as unicorn that he could do both.
I know, but
and that's why they mortgaged the future because of it.
Totally get it, because they thought they were getting something that would morph into what that nickname.
Right, but you're 1 year into it and you give up on the unicorn already?
That's the whole thing, Matt. They haven't said they've given up. This thing just takes off on social media as if they have. They have not.
So what did he say at the owners' meetings? Can you play that again, JJ?
What Rappaport?
No. What
Liam
Cohen said at the owners' meetings about Travis Hunter.
All right, so we'll find that. But here's Schefter on the McAfee show.
I think they made it very clear then that he's playing corner.
Yeah, they're not saying he's not playing the other. Let's just make sure that distinction is clear, okay? Because then we're just doing the same thing the social media is doing. All right, play the Adam Schefter piece, just as far as his reporting, as far as what the Jaguars are going to be thinking about doing.
I can tell you that the plans are to use him at wide receiver, again, just the way they did last year, and to have his spike snap at the cornerback position. And that's why they gave up all the picks to go get Travis Hunter, is to have the luxury to be able to play him at both slots. And if you need him at a certain spot, you can insert him at that spot. They need him now at cornerback. They lost a good cornerback in free agency. So Travis Hunter is going to play a lot more cornerback, but he's going to continue playing wide receiver just like he did last year.
Okay, so one of the insiders is saying he's a corner and he's going to get a few plays on offense. The other insider says, or sounds like, it's still going to be about 50-50. Even though it wasn't 50-50 last year.
Right. It's still up. It's beautiful because it's still up for interpretation. That's the beautiful thing about it.
So when JJ finds Liam Cohen, because to me it sounded like corner was the position and that they were going to find a way to work him in on offense.
But listen to what Shefty said. This has something to do with it.
I know, but I'd rather listen to what Liam Cohen said.
I know.
When JJ finds
this is what Liam Cohen said when asked, can Travis Hunter play both positions?
I think he's absolutely going to be able to. I do. I mean, the guy... Just so we know, he has the craziest conditioning of any athlete I've ever been around. Like that, he doesn't get tired. He doesn't sweat. It's kind of crazy. But he's obviously been in altitude. But he works his tail off. He loves football, fishing. I mean, that's what he does. So as he continues to grow, this was a minor setback for sure, right? But for a major comeback, that's what it has to be. That's his mindset. And
Are you counting reps in practice? Did we figure that out? Do you think you got to the point where you figured out how much you should do?
I think we were getting there. And then he gets, he has 100 yards against the Rams, gets hurt, forced us to go kind of make some other make some other decisions. Yeah. And it was a blessing at the end of the day for the way it played out in some ways. But look, we'll look through that. I do think that if you just said, all right, man, go play football without much coaching, I mean, corner, he just looks the part. Is exactly what he is. And then, but also when you get the ball in his hands, I mean, he can make people miss, which I can't coach, so it's still a fine line. It's still something we're working through.
Yeah.
That's kind of my point. Like you cannot take him off that field on offense, man. He does so much.
My point is that no one, people are suggesting that. No one has said
I agree with that. But the way he was talking there, it sounds like he's playing corner.
Yeah.
And that they're going to find a way to get him on offense.
He'll be a gadget player on offense.
Yes. And
not that he's not going to ever play on offense, but what we were expecting is him to play almost every down on offense.
120 plays, remember?
That, in my opinion, from what I'm taking, it ain't happening.
Yeah, and it just
he's a gadget player.
Things change, and they also probably, the reality does hit you in the face a little bit. This guy is being asked to do at the highest level. Do that. Go ahead and defend against Jamar Chase, Nico Collins.
I agree. I mean, at the end of the day,
sort of learn how to play wide receiver on the fly in the NFL.
At the best.
Yeah, that's impossible. But the thing is, he didn't really know how to even play the position.
Right, and the worst part is he was getting there.
Yeah.
Like after that Rams game, you were kind of like, all right.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a dead end.
I know that, but my point is that if you could have had those other 10 games, man, I think we'd be having a completely different conversation about what position he plays.
It's like when you overrush a running back, all right? I mean, he's a physical phenom, but when he's getting 500 carries in the season, bro, you're misusing him, all right? You're literally tearing his body down. The Jaguars doing the same thing to this kid if you're going to utilize him that much. This fact that doesn't get tired, doesn't sweat, that's bull. He does get tired. He does sweat, okay? You're just ignoring the fact that he does.
We saw him in camp. He was tired,
Yeah, because if you go through, and this is by the numbers, and this is basically how it broke down last year, and I do believe they were falling in love with the idea of the unicorn aspect of this, and they were in a lot of ways trying to either force feed him or force feed the fans in the NFL the idea that he could be that guy on offense. Because when you had 324 snaps on offense versus 162 snaps on defense, you need to look no further than that. They wanted to try and get him going offensively as much as possible because of what we all have said, the home run threat. You can get drunk off of it if you think this guy can make that play. And what happened? First half of the year, there were a lot of balls being forced down the field, and they were trying to get 16 to 12, that combination.
Yeah, but also,
and so now
Trevor
you
wasn't
learn
comfortable in the offense in the first half
But you learn
either.
a little bit about who's capable of what.
Right, I get it, but my point is Trevor wasn't really comfortable in the offense yet either. They were both learning.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying I think you lost those 10 games, but you not only lost 10 games for him to learn the position, you lost 10 games for him to be in an offense where the quarterback at some point, it turns for him. Bang.
Yeah.
And now he's starting to understand it. Now he's starting to feel it. And then you're going to see how quickly it helps the receivers develop.
Yeah. Certainly not saying that missing those 10 games wasn't a huge
God, it's
shot.
gigantic.
Yeah.
Gigantic.
For him, for the team, for everything offensively. Just now, and Liam Cohen's doing this. This is the beautiful thing about, at least I think, the way he's approaching this is he's a ball coach. He's going to figure out what he can do to keep one thing going, which means keep him involved on offense, but not at a cost that's going to hurt the team. I think that's what they're looking at. They want to get the most out of him.
So who are you going to feel comfortable pulling off the field on offense?
That's another good, fair question. Because, all right, let's just keep.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's just keep it going. And you guys hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. It's not a luxury of riches. They don't have that room completely figured out.
It's pretty easy to see who you take off the field, actually.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into that coming up.
Well,
it is
to bounce back, don't you?
XL Primetime.
XL Primetime. Driven by Duval Ford. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
When you drive past a Kuhn Flowers location, did you know their inside showroom is filled with gift items? Kuhn Flowers isn't just for sending flowers. Frank Frangie here, and when I need a unique gift, I head for Kuhn Flowers, Beach Boulevard and in Ponte Vedra since 1947. Kuhn Flowers.
Some auto shops call it an inspection and flag any little thing. That's called a wallet flush. At AA Automotive, they don't play that game. They fix only what needs fixing. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's 1 month only sale event. Buy one replacement window or door and get the second 40% off. Plus, enjoy 0 down, no payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. It's the perfect time to upgrade with windows engineered for strength, beauty, and energy-efficient performance. Designed for Florida's unique climate, our acclaimed impact windows help keep your home cooler, quieter, and more comfortable. Offer ends April 30th. Restrictions apply. Schedule your free consultation at bestwindowsflorida.com. License CGC 1527613.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is the job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hacker here. You know, people think Awaken 180 called me or asked me to go on the program. They didn't. Truth be told, I asked them. Didn't even take a talent fee. I didn't want to check. I wanted my weight gone. I was done with waking up tired and lethargic. I was done. And let's be honest, I wasn't failing diets. Diets were failing me. I didn't need any hype or motivation. I needed instructions. The Awaken 180 program was like finally stopping the backyard play calling and having a coach in your ear saying, run this, now trust it. Once my brain got out of the way, everything changed. No overthinking, no negotiating, no self-sabotage. The weight came off fast every single week, like clockwork. The biggest surprise wasn't the scale, it was the relief. I felt like I finally stopped fighting myself. That's when Awaken 180 took over. So if you're waiting to feel ready, don't. I wasn't either. That's why this worked. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Dr. George Bari. Bari Orthopedics is your choice when it comes to an injury. We're here for you and your loved ones to deliver excellent treatment and care fast the first time. Trust your care in our hands. Get same-day appointments for your injuries with 3 locations. If it hurts, ask us first. Bari Orthopedics.
Be sure and check out the expertise from Dr. George Bari and the entire staff at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Dropping his Trevor. Fires it deep downfield. That ball's caught by Travis Hunter. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. A long corner out to Travis Hunter. There is a flag in the secondary, but I would imagine that's going to work against the Rams.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Jaguars play-by-play voice, Frank Frangie on the call. Courtesy of Jaguars.com. It's funny because people do talk about 100 yards and a touchdown on the kind. They were getting smoked by LA.
Garbage time.
I was going to say that.
Let's
They were getting
not
annihilated.
forget.
Mud stomp, bro.
Okay, do not forget that.
He did look more comfortable in that game, though. You got to give him that.
Well, yeah, but they
Plus,
were.
he made a couple nice moves in that game,
I'll put it to you this way: no one was comfortable when they were down 28-0.
Yeah, of course.
Okay?
I'm not disagreeing with that.
So-
The Rams probably weren't playing their ass off at that point.
I'm choosing to look at the bright side of the road,
which
Joe.
is rare, and we will take it.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
He's right. You're
Yeah.
negative Matt. You're
Here we go.
morbid Matt.
Bad sources, negative man.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it is a little rare when you go down that road. But the only point is that it came after a thorough beating by the Rams. Did it excite you? Did it ignite you in terms of what if this guy gets going, how good it can be? Hell yes. Any Jaguar fan out there wants to see the full fruits of Travis Hunter on offense and defense. Give me everything you got, Big Cat. Do it. But at what cost? And when does one thing that you're trying to do, which is what Leon's been saying, become a takeaway from what they need you to do on the other side of the ball? And when you talk about the losses that this football team had at the cornerback position, they are counting on him on that side.
So I just know how grueling the NFL can be when you wear and tear the body, the practicing, and then now he's going both ways, 50% here, 50% there. I mean, you're literally stripping years away from this young man, to be quite honest with you, by utilizing them that way. And I know people will say they want to see it, but I'm just telling you that is grueling.
Yeah.
Not only the body, mentally, but physically and mentally. It's got to be straining for him.
And it's funny.
I just feel like he would be more equipped to lock him down at one position and then play him sporadically at another.
Yeah, and
Just pick and choose.
in the very beginning, and Coach Campo and I were basically on the same page with this. He felt like he was skills-wise had the corner position on lock way more than the wide receiver. Just based on everything we've seen, we would all pretty much agree with that. And then you can put him in position where he can come in certain situations and add the splash or the X or whatever you're looking for with that particular offensive series to where he can be a leg up against that defense. That's great.
Yeah.
But you still have to make sure in this AFC South that you have someone who can defend a pass.
Yeah.
And this team struggled down the stretch on that front.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna always be a proponent for the player, and I just know too commonly that the NFL loves you and needs you till they don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just telling the kid, just be careful.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
And look, for them to take the big leap, the big jump, all about it. Because if anything we've learned with our XLP Big Three, the draft history is not rich here in the River City. And so they need to take big swings, and Jimmy Gladstone's has come in and at the very least said, you know what? If we feel like that's the best cat in the draft, we're going to move up. They moved up 3 spots to get him, and the book ain't written yet. It ain't written.
Yeah.
All right.
It ain't.
All right. All I'm saying is that great draft last year that we all loved, you got this potentially, you could be looking at no longer a unicorn, injured.
Well, yeah, that happens, and because did they get injured because they drafted him? No, they got injured.
I'm just saying it's
so
still counts as a fail.
Yeah, well, right now
it's what it is, man.
Yeah,
it's not anybody's fault that injuries happen, but when they don't play, it's
everyone's watching and
F.
wondering, and it certainly is not a passing grade right now, that's for sure. But this team did go from where they were to where they are, And that's where the optimism comes from.
Of course. Not disagreeing with that at all.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah. And then you have another level of patience to find out whether or not this guy that you thought you were going to get great things from can still do it for you.
Well, it's sad to say that their undrafted has played a lot better than their drafted.
Well, you're talking about Green and Strigo. They at least came in and made plays. That's for sure. All right, Matt, the question that we were posing is that whose spot is he going to take if you basically say, hey, give me more of this on offense versus that on defense?
Okay, well, let's go over what's out there.
Right.
Okay.
But were you suggesting he's going to take that spot?
Right. Let's go over what's out there. You got Jacoby Myers. You got Brian Thomas Jr. And you've got, arguably the hottest receiver you got right now in Parker Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could go to 4 wide. Hell, you can go to 5 wide. But in 3 wide sets, you want to get him on the field?
Right. That's what the luxury now that has been created by a Myers acquisition and a Parker rise has helped them make a decision that says, hey, 12, we need you on the other side of the ball a little bit more right now.
Of course it has. But my point is that you want to get him on the field on offense in a 3 wide set. One of those guys got to come off, and that one guy is probably going to be Brian Thomas.
Yeah, and people have hit the text line. You guys can do it, 641-1010. Hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures that at the risk of BTJ and whatever they want to try and get out of him, they may say, hey, we need to get 12 out there more. But they're different. They're playing different positions. It's not like size-wise, we're talking about a bigger, more – well, he had a double-digit –
Although Travis Hunter played on the outside last year too.
Yes, he did. And it's not like he can't do that. And they both had the route
Look, here's another thing too. And I don't mean to interrupt you. Brian Thomas could come into camp and just absolutely blow the doors off people. He may come back completely regenerated and ready to go and ready to be the guy he was as a rookie. We have no idea, right?
Yeah.
But all we're saying is if what happened last year bleeds into this year, he's the guy coming off the field.
And it's interesting because I think that this team, the coaching staff, has been consistent so far in saying exactly what you just said. You know what? Hey, Walker, we're not going to give you that job back because this guy's gone out, Cole Van Lanen, and played better than you. Hey, Anton, if you don't play better, you're not going to keep your job. Hey, McCary, yeah, we signed you for big money free agent, but if you're not healthy, we're going to get somebody else in there, and on and on and on. And so they've gotten productivity out of guys by improving this roster and being coached better.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I'm good with the competition. I'm good that everybody here is uncomfortable. I really am. That they bringing in guys from free agency or in the draft and making them uncomfortable. And the whole thing with BTJ, though, if you start week one, if BTJ is not your starter at week one, then I don't know if you failed. But the whole idea is to push buttons so this guy can get back to what he was.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if Travis Hunter is starting in week one, then we've all failed him.
But just back to real quick, the cornerback part of this is that they need to have stars on that side of the ball. Let's not ignore that. You guys jump in on it. It is XL Primetime talking Travis Hunter. The majority of his plays in teal and black next year will be on defense. What say you about all of that?
XL Primetime, driven by Duval Ford. The action. The motion.
You see that acceleration.
Feel the active emotion of live play-by-play.
It's amazing how much energy.
On 1010XL.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call Zero Res. Hey, Hicken here. Step into a fresher, cleaner home this spring with Zero Res. You might think because you mop off and your floors are clean, but they're actually collecting dirt not obvious to the eye. After a while, the hardwood or tile or LVP looks dull. This is where Zero Res can help. This month, 20% off all hard floor cleaning. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Call 287-5727 or go online at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Make sure to ask for the 1010XL special.
Zero Res.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to FloridaHomeAC.com/careers to find out more.
Ready to put your dream car in drive? Get solid rates for the road ahead when you finance with First Florida Credit Union. Enjoy competitive low rates, up to 90 days of no payments and budget-friendly protection plans. Whether you're buying a vehicle or refinancing, stop by a branch or apply online at firstflorida.org/auto loans. Membership eligibility required. Interest accrues during loan payment deferral period. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit firstflorida.org/auto loans.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Cracking along on a beautiful Tuesday right here on the First Coast. Days away from the draft. The countdown is on. The media mock draft will come up next Wednesday between Jaguars Today and XLP. And then you won't sit quietly on your hands Thursday night because you got to be at least into the idea that, as Jimmy Gladstone said, they don't have a pick in the first round, at least not yet. And they're just going to sit back, bide their time, and we will see whether they move up in the second round or make that big leap. Who the heck knows? But it will be a bunch of fun next week, that's for sure. All right, so off the text line is on my lifetime enclosures. Your 3 wide receiver set doesn't have to be the same 3 receivers every single time. Sure, there will be plays. Travis is in for BTJ, just like there will be plays he's in for Parker and in for Myers based on the matchup. The speed of Travis and BTJ on the field together is just different. So that's one of the thoughts. And look, I get it. That's what Liam Cohen's looking for. You can go down the line with any of the offensive coaches that want to stress defenses as much as possible. And if they get Brian Thomas Jr. back to a level, which you're all hoping for out there, he stresses defenses. And then Travis Hunter can benefit off of that. Parker Washington obviously has proven that he can be a legit threat anywhere on the football field receiving the ball.
Listen, we know that they rotate guys at different positions and stuff like that, but you also know who the starters are.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
You know if you're the starter or you're the rotational guy. And I don't know how guys handle it. Some guys the transition is smooth. Some guys take it to heart. Some guys pout. All that kind of stuff goes on.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, but what I would like to see is when you draft a guy in the first round at wide receiver, for him to be a legitimate first round wide receiver.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, deliver.
So I'm banking on BTJ to come out and show us stuff.
Yeah, I think it would be another huge leap in Liam's coaching career if he can do that, get that out of him again.
But as I say that, but we gave up capital for receiver /
For the best receiver in the draft.
Yes, we gave up the capital for the best receiver and the best cornerback in the draft.
Yeah, very, very true. Yeah.
So
so it was live. It was, instead of a BOGO, buy one get one, you had to buy one and pay for two.
Yeah.
Or get one and pay for two. And so it definitely becomes you can be critical of the decision that they made if it doesn't pan out. I got no problem with that. That's the fans' right, or media covering the team's right all day long. It's just, did you make your football team better in the end? That's really all they're trying to do. And we'll figure out.
We're 1 year into this thing.
Yeah,
we're literally 1 year and only 7 games actually into this thing.
Right.
So I think you got to look at that. You got to have patience. Obviously, has to be part of this process. However,
yeah,
I think it's clear he was a receiver when they drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted him. You don't take
that
a
they
corner
wanted him to
that
be
high. Yes.
Well, I don't know about that, bro, because you can.
No way.
Bro, did you see some of the plays he made at corner?
Yeah. All right, let's do
Did you see what he did? Did you see what he did in college at receiver?
I know, but
and at corner. Let's do this take in an instant right here.
Now, Josie's 10-10 take. Serviced by Valvoline Instant Oil Changes. Oil changes in 15 minutes or less. Guaranteed.
So that little back and forth between Matt and Leon right there says it all. Did you see the plays he made at corner? Did you see what he did at receiver? And so that's the thing that we're talking about. That's what makes everybody lean in when he's playing, and that's what you're hoping for when you draft him. And you made that move, and you gave up 2 spots in your draft order to get to 1 spot. And pricey as it was, they wanted to try and make a splash. And as we've said, they don't know for sure if they're going to get everything out of him that they visualized, but they need to get that guy. Now, you can go to a receiver that could be drafted in the top 5, and you may or may not get everything out of him. But Sauce Gardner was drafted 4th overall, and he's one of the guys that you look at and say, hey, if he does get in that lockdown position, the Derek Stingleys of the world, this team needs that dude on that side of the ball. They have to have him to stop the teams that they are going up against. And so I don't mind them looking at it and saying, you know what? We said goodbye to a couple of guys. We traded away the last expensive contract with Tyson Campbell. Greg Newsome, we got you to come down here in the trade with Tyson. We like what we saw, but we're not married to it. And then he took off. And now you got to put Travis back in that situation where he becomes an integral part on that side of the ball. That's the 10-10 take.
So does that also bring into question Jordan Lewis's health? Think about it.
It might.
Right?
Yeah.
Does it bring into question what they think of Jarian Jones?
I think right now, if you just go back to what you guys just said about the wide receiver room. It's not plentiful, but it's pretty good. And so now you add Travis Hunter into a Jacoby, BTJ Parker situation.
So this is out of necessity, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I just feel like, this is where I love the argument that we always have back and forth. It was a 27-24 ball game against the Buffalo Bills. And in the end, I feel like we can easily say, hey, you should have taken the points or don't miss that kick or whatever the thing is.
You couldn't get off the field. I agree.
Yeah, but in the end, they couldn't get off the field.
I don't disagree at all.
And so both of for my money, the 2 biggest problem areas are the classic thing you always say: you can't affect the quarterback enough, and then the back end of your defense suffers mightily from that.
Yeah, didn't Buffalo have a wide receiver go 11 for 11?
12 for 12.
12 for 12. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The best part is
one.
The best part is he went 12 for 12, and you don't even know his name. That's the best part.
I don't even know his name, but I know that he could miss.
His name could be J.J. LaSalva. You have no idea.
He's a former recording artist. Shakira is who it was.
Couldn't stop him.
Yeah, but
not once.
Beautiful.
That's where we are. So 12 targets. 12.
Still the greatest halftime show, by the way.
I was just going to say, he ain't that Shakira, okay?
I know hips don't
He
lie.
might have been good in that Sunday in that game, but he ain't that Shakira.
Yeah. All right, real quick, Big Sur's kind of file this off to the side. We'll do this coming up. Jag Fanatic 24 on the South Side asking the question. Big Sur's, can we get your thoughts on the O-line? Do you think all 5 starters returned from last season? So we will answer that question coming up. We'll say hello to Coach Gerald Ingram. He coached running backs here. under TC and with TC up in New York when the Giants were winning a couple Super Bowls. He's going to be part of our XLP Big Three as we unveil the best drafted or undrafted running backs this team's ever had.
XL Primetime, driven by Duval Ford Mobile Service. Game-ready service right to your driveway. The home of the home team you grew up with.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package. Fred Taylor, every time he touches it, he's a candidate to go the distance.
Jaguars, pride forever. 1010XL.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for big number one Duval Ford. If you run a fleet in Jacksonville, you know time off the road costs money. That's why Duval Ford's Fleet Mobile service is a game changer. Duval Ford comes to you, job sites, depots, wherever your trucks are, you don't have to lose hours driving to a shop or waiting in line. From basic maintenance to light repairs, Duval Ford technicians keep your fleet moving. It's fast, convenient, and built for commercial uptime. Big number one Duval Ford mobile service. Wherever you need them, they'll come to you.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Wing Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Spring is here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is Jacksonville's certified arborist for safe tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for homes and businesses. Protect your property, boost your curb appeal, and enjoy expert service you can trust. Keep your trees healthy and safe before summer arrives. Schedule your inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Owning a house is kind of like being in an argument with your house. One day, it's the AC saying, I'm tired. The next day, it's the plumbing going, good luck finding that leak. Then the septic system joins the conversation. And nobody likes what it has to say. That's when you call Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. One team that handles all three, plumbing, septic, and air conditioning. So the next time your house tries to win the argument, call Duck Duck Rooter, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie for the farm at Okefenokee. My wife and I and a bunch of friends just got back from the farm, and we had an incredible experience. We toured the regenerative farm, as well as the beautiful handcrafted cabins, and were treated to a fantastic farm-to-table dinner created by Congree and Penn. Man, was it good. Well, you can learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com. And even hear my interview with farm co-founder Doug Davis to learn even more about this amazing property. That's okefarm.com.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
We've all been there. You hear about an incredible event Monday morning, but it happens Sunday. Stop missing out. Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida, and we have the solution. From under-the-radar sporting events to the perfect family outing or date night, Visit Jacksonville is your all-access pass to the city. Plan your 2026 season at visitjacksonville.com/locals. visitjacksonville.com/locals. Or download the Visit Jax app for the full lineup. See what you've been missing.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents. Look no further, though, than I-9 Sports, covering Duval, St. John's, and Clay to get your youngster in the game. Summer and fall registration open right now for flag football, soccer, t-ball, and basketball, plus girls volleyball at UNF and Bishop Snyder. Fields and gyms all over the First Coast, including Fort Family Field. And the best thing is, I-9 Sports offers sports year-round, so kids can always find a sport to play. i9sports.com, enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. The Eastern Conference Play-In Tournament features an excellent 7 versus 8 matchup as the Orlando Magic will travel to Philadelphia to play against the 76ers at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. The stakes are high. The winner secures the 7 seed and a guaranteed spot in the first round, while the loser faces a do-or-die elimination game against the winner of the Hornets and the Heat matchup. Play-in action tips off at 7:30 p.m. between the Magic and the Sixers. 81 degrees at 101. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Draw play. Taylor skips 2 tackles. Right, and here we go. Yeah. Bye-bye. Brock Marion chasing. Brock Marion still chasing. Gets help from Smith. Touchdown. No flags. A 90-yard run.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
There have been great players that have worn the teal and black, and that one that you just heard the highlight of among them, that's for sure.
You watched that tape, the O-line blocked nobody.
Yeah, it was all Freddie T.
Freddie T. It was all.
Oh, my God.
Just watch it. All you got to do is watch it, Coach. Listen, I was supposed to have Zach Thomas on that play. He went all the way down. I ran around looking for people. All I knew was to stay out of Fred's way. That's all I knew.
It's the reason why he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there you go. We begin the 1 o'clock hour with that highlight with Freddie T, because we were going to do the XLP Big Three, and none better to be in the room with us than the running backs coach for Freddie T and company when Coach Gerald Ingram was here under Tom Coughlin, then obviously up to New York on his way to winning a couple of Super Bowls up there with the NYG. How you doing, Coach?
Oh, it's great. It's a great time of year right now. Only thing hard about right now is not seeing anybody hitting each other.
That's true. That is true. But look at you, styling and profiling. Okay,
good. Oh, hey, I gotta hold my age somehow. I don't know how you do, but you do. You do well.
Coach, is that a Kango? Are you bringing back the Kangos?
Hey, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep it sexy. You're a hard person to keep up with. Big sexy for life.
Yeah.
You brought some style to the O-line room.
I
to
did.
the room.
I tried.
I mean, you kept Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardle they had to step their game up.
They tried to battle me suit wide, Coach. They can't mess with me.
Couldn't do it. Swag is swag.
It is.
Oh, I love it. So you can jump on YouTube if you want to search 1010XL on YouTube. You can catch the stream. Just search XL Primetime, and you can see. And I'm just going to say this to Coach Ingram right now, and Big Sirs and Maddie, would you guys agree? I think he's got a little maize and blue combo going right now.
No doubt about that.
Oh, who's got it better than Wolverine right now? It's great to be a Wolverine.
He's still
we
pushing
can talk.
out.
Hey, we're in America. So get me started now. That academically, athletically, you can experience as a student of all success in any sport. I don't care. Look at baseball, basketball, hockey, football.
Yeah.
We got it all right now. Just come to the blue. I'm sorry, Leon.
But
you came back this year, though.
But bro,
they came
navy blue, not whatever.
I
blue
know.
that
But
is.
I'm just saying, this is
Navy
just
blue and maize.
This is just a version of it, a little version of it. All right, so let's just do our XLP Big Three, and then we'll get Coach Ingram to jump in on this because we already had a good, lively discussion in our pre-show. But let's hit them as far as where you put them. 3, 2, 1, Leon.
Well, I mean, we know what 1 and 2 are.
Yeah, 1 and 2 are Freddie and MJ.
Freddie and MJ3. I struggle with number 3.
Okay.
Because for one, it's hard not to put a guy in there who had 6 touchdowns in one game, little man Stewart.
Yeah.
Then it's hard for the production that ATN had, 13 touchdowns this past, and then the run Leonard Fournette had in the playoffs where he had 4 touchdowns. In the playoff run. So
It's the first position, by the way, where we've had problems.
Yeah.
The only one.
It speaks volumes as to what this team didn't do.
I'm going to give the nod to Leonard Fournette because of how special 2017's playoff run was.
JJ talked you into that. He
basically
strong-armed you.
No, he didn't. No, I listen. I conjured the spirits, and where I put myself in watching both of those guys play. I love ATN. Well, I'm just going to say A-Chain.
Right, A-Chain.
It will always be ETN here. Okay, I'm just correcting the record
I'm going to go with the run. The 2017 run was pretty special.
All right, stay at your 3. Don't go any further. Okay, so my 3, I listened to JJ in the pre-show meeting. I heard what he said about Fournette. I just think that I don't think people give ETN, and I'm calling it ETN because he stepped to the podium when he got here and said, it's ETN like the letters, ETN. So I'm calling him ETN.
That's why I kept tweeting ET in
Right.
the end zone.
Right. So I think that people really don't give him enough credit, number one. Number two, you can't just automatically say, we'll just put Toot in there. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. No problem. You got a guy that legitimately led the team in touchdowns, was a significant threat out of the backfield as a receiver.
Yeah.
And had 3 of his 4 seasons, he had 1,000 yards. I don't think you just randomly like replace somebody like that. I also think that deserves that spot at number 3. Now, your 3.
Yeah, it's funny because I wrestled with it as well, and you could even go with a couple of other guys that stepped up that you didn't like. You want to talk about a great story? An undrafted James Robinson is a great story, and he deserves. And Deji Kareem, I fought really, really hard in my mind with. Forget about him, but just there are other guys that did step up and make plays for this football team. But in the end, 4 healthy years for Travis Etienne, 3 of them over 1,000 yards. Productivity in 2 playoff years versus Leonard Fournette in 1 playoff year, which was a great year. And then he did not make it to his second contract, released by this team. And at that time, Doug Marrone said it was because of on-field performance. Now, if you go back in time, Leonard Fournette got suspended, ran across the field, tried to start a fight in Buffalo. Coach Ingram's
sat on the bench and pouted.
Yeah,
TJ
so there were some.
I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. I just never was. I remember at the time we were going to draft a guy, and I loved his size, and that's as far as I could go. And I told Lagerman, I says, I just couldn't see drafting this guy in the first round if he's not dynamic. Now, here I am. I had Fred Taylor. I had Tiki Barber. I had Natron Means. I had big guys, big, powerful guys. I've had some smaller guys. I remember going out to watch Maurice's workout. I mean, he was a tank that played big.
My gosh.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, Leonard Fournette, to me, he just had the size. He had the speed. He was he's a downhill guy who had size and speed, but he run in the back offensive lineman. He's running away from safeties in the hole. I mean, my running back, Brandon Jacobs, called me and said, hey, that would have cost him $1,000 in our meeting room. Because if you run out of a hole because of free safety, we used to have a money pot. Even if I said something stupid, I had to put money in the pot, okay? And then they would pay for a Friday night dinner or whatever. And we'd watch the tape and say, the heck's he run away from a free safety? That was a finable fence, just like a fumble was, $500, whatever. But to chicken out, and you're that size, he didn't have enough mobility. He wasn't as dynamic. He wasn't. You're not taking a guy in the first round that's not that special that can create.
He was number 4.
Yeah,
overall.
he was.
Yeah.
Listen. Him going on his retreat also was in play for me. And when he went away to Wyoming to kind of rediscover himself and came back.
The next year, he caught 75 balls. So even though he didn't have like huge rushing yardage totals, he did.
Well, he recommitted himself to his craft. And I can appreciate that.
Well, he tried to do that, but he is what he is. He's a first and second down guy. The guy that I thought in the playoff game that was on the field was the third down back from Alabama. Why can't I think of his name? He should have been the guy in that situation to run those routes.
Court. He was the guy who made a lot of plays for them down the stretch. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And
that's what lacks right now on this team, in my mind, is a receiving type back, a legitimate every down or receiving type back. You take McCaffrey, which I would have taken him over Leonard anyway. You see now a guy who's athletic, who can change direction, who can run a first and second down, who can run routes. You can run different route trees with the guy.
ETN.
That's it. Then I said that in the past 2 years ago. We're not using ETN's ability. He's fluid. He can do a lot more. He can be more dynamic when people want to cover our 2 receivers and 2 man. And either our tight end's got to be real good, which Strange is good. But our running back in the pass game is good. Hey, hats off to Liam this year to actually show what he could. You imagine if he was here 2 years and to be able to develop in what he does and what you see Christian do?
Yeah.
ETN still has that in him.
And the other thing that we need to bring up at that time is that when Leonard Fournette was drafted number 4 overall in 2017, and obviously had a fantastic rookie year, they had just a couple years earlier in the second round drafted T.J. Yeldon.
Yes.
And that also did not work out. And then
that's who I was thinking about in
the
playoff
and then
game.
Corey Grant that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because Corey Grant made some plays for them. And yes, all right, so you had the Alabama player and T.J. Yeldon, but if you go back and look at his numbers, Coach, they just weren't anywhere near where they needed to be from a overall productivity point of view, which is why 2 drafts later they had to go top 4.
Well, right. And that's why when Matt said, Etienne, I totally agree, with Etienne. And to be honest, the next guy to me is I'm just not high on the one guy is when I coach James Stewart, I know what I got. I got a move the chains guy that I can depend on.
That's right.
He's hard. He's tough. He keeps his feet moving. He's never a problem. He's probably one of our stronger guys on the offense. When he was here, he's a heck of a weight room guy. Still looks good right now. Okay. But you can depend on that move the chain guy for who he is.
Right.
That's what he did.
So Coach, what was said in meetings to where you drafted James Stewart in 95, but then you go get Fred in 98? What was the reasoning about? Because of James?
Well, you got to
hurt?
remember in that expansion year, we were allowed to have 2 picks. We took Tony Baselli, so we were going to take a legitimate offensive lineman, but we also wanted to make sure we had a running back. Okay, now there were some other running backs that went in front of James Stewart, but we wanted at that point in time guy like what Tom wanted was he had in New York. Otis Anderson, that kind of guy. He doesn't have to be, James Stewart is a 35 to 40-yard runner. Fred is a closer. Yeah. There's a difference. It's just like Edgerrin James. Edgerrin James is not a 80-yard closer.
So like a thunder and lightning.
But every down, Edgerrin James is going to get, 5 yards of carry. He's going to move the chains. He's going to make that play. When that coach makes that play call on that sheet, you can expect that of those type of guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And home run, you need both. Home run and the hammer. That's for sure. All right, you guys hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Who would you have as your number 3 running back, drafted or undrafted by this team? Over the years, you got Freddie T, you got MJD. Who would you put in there next?
XL Primetime, driven by Duval Ford.
Do you realize where we are?
No.
Look around, man. The clean, modern aesthetic, the cool blue color palette. We're in
1010XL.
Leon Sursa here, your lemon pepper guy. You know Wingstop always delivers. And I'm not talking about that cook-to-order, sauce and toss chicken sandwich and in the 12 mouth-watering flavors. I'm not talking about the homemade rats. So good, wouldn't blame me if you double dip. I'm talking about Wingstop that delivers straight to your door. And did you know they're open till 1 a.m.? So visit wingstop.com or use the app to get flavors delivered right to your door late night. Only at Wingstop.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
If you missed it, get it on demand.
And you send those out on the line.
Find your 1010XL favorites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com. Channel 5, Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Of course, Roland Reach Plumbing has awards from Folio Weekly and the Bold City's Best. Now, Roland Reach is also confirmed as the Google Guaranteed Plumbing Service. Because when you do plumbing right, the word gets around. That's Roland Reach Plumbing.
Springtime is the perfect time to get your home organized. Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and I love our closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. From closets and garages to entertainment centers, laundry rooms, and storage for any space and budget. Make an appointment to tour their showroom on Phillips Highway and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off for installation and 18 months special financing. Schedule your free consultation at 904-878-9393 or find them online, closetsbydesign.com.
Get ready for an unforgettable night with the legendary Bill Murray. The icon of Caddyshack and SNL takes the stage at the Florida Theater. This isn't just comedy. It's a high-energy mix of music, storytelling, and pure entertainment. From the Grand Ole Opry to rocking out with the Blood Brothers, Bill Murray delivers a show like no other. Don't miss out. April 19th at Florida Theater. Grab your tickets today for Bill Murray and his Blood Brothers at floridatheater.com.
Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building. So now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Maybe you have concerns about putting your home on the market and getting it sold. Well, let me alleviate those for you. There's a real quick solution. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold or they will buy it. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. You'll find out for yourself. Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts I trust and recommend with the sale of your home or mine. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Anthony and Mary in Palmco said, we needed to sell our home to move closer to family, but low cash offers weren't cutting it. Since we'd only bought a year earlier, options felt limited, but not for Chad and Sandy. Call Chad and Sandy today, or log on to chadandsandy.com.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom who got rear-ended last year. Tom McManus here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial pound law or check out forthepeople.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch.
3rd and 2, Jags from their own 10-yard line. He gives to Burnett. He's into the open field. He is into the open field in the Steeler territory. Watch this. Are you kidding me? Touchdown. Leonard Fournette just went 90 yards. Touchdown, Jacksonville. There's the icing on the cake as they lay it to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
You go to, that was Frank Franchi on the call in one of the greatest playoff games I think you could ever ask for, just in terms of fireworks.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot of D being played. There was some fireworks in that football game, and that was Big Ben versus the Boat.
The Boat had a game, too,
Oh,
bro.
my gosh, he did. Take a look at that stat sheet. Yeah, Leonard did.
Ain't no easy task to go into Pittsburgh and do that.
No way. And even though number 4th pick overall, he only generated 1,040 yards. I say only, but you get my point, in 13 games played in the regular season. But just like the Boat, he rose up in the postseason, and that is when it matters, right?
That's when legends are made. Legends are made.
Yeah. And so the argument is, we'll never really settle it as far as who maybe that 3rd overall running back in Jaguars history as far as drafted or undrafted players goes. But ETN, for his part, 3 out of 4 years coach, particularly with what he was able to do with 2 playoff seasons at 22 and then here in 25.
Well, I think if you size the two up, ETN deserves that. I mean, his speed and acceleration through the line of scrimmage is what they're going to miss right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think this young kid shows some potential.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's not give him, let's not give it to him all until he actually goes through a whole season playing through it. Kind of like, some other people on our team. To be a pro, you got to play like a pro through a whole season, through a couple seasons. I hope he does.
Mm-hmm.
But ETN, he played up to his potential here and I thought could have been better. But his speed And when he's on, and he's one of those backs that, he's going to hit the hole as fast as he can hit it, and he's going to get as much as he can. He doesn't have a lot of wiggle. He has enough. He does need to play with a little more balance to stay on his feet at first contact. But when he gets through a hole to get through a hole, he can hit it and get it.
Now, Coach, I'm sorry, I mean to interrupt you, Coach. So organizationally, that's a lot of productivity to just let walk out the door.
Yeah.
A lot.
And so, I mean, and I understand that they're confident in their ability to develop players and, draft players and stuff like that. But it's borderline arrogance that you let a guy like ATN with all that productivity just figure that you just bring anybody else in and we can magically wave our wand and they'll be the same player.
Well, that's what we've done with running backs, in this, air ball, thing we're in right now, and throw the ball and run the ball last. And then now all of a sudden, when it's crucial and the clock becomes very viable, now all of a sudden you want a runner. But you didn't develop your offensive line to have the tough physical mentality. Now, what does exist in the NFL is the speed of the rush. Defensive linemen get faster and faster every year, and then half the defensive linemen you wish would have been offensive linemen instead of standing on the other side of the field. So if you're any kind of athlete in any way, where you're going to go? He's going to develop as a defensive tackle, defensive end, something like that, or pass rusher, because that's where the money is. Money has changed everything in the NFL because the guys that you used to play with would not be Hall of Famers right now as running backs. They would struggle in this, era of throwing the ball, run second situation, because back in the day, you were tested on your ability of toughness by running the ball. You want to, you want to control the clock, play great defense, and demoralize people on offense.
Just like you said earlier, you would have taken McCaffrey because of today's NFL.
Yes. You have to see those things coming. And that's why you look at, the 49ers style of offense, even way back to, when they were at Denver, he started to change a little bit. They were running the ball, but then, as Elway left, they saw, well, we've got to change what we do. We can't just be running play action. They all of a sudden now the evolution of everyone else. But he brought it back at the 49ers. They're going to run the ball, they're going to throw the ball, and they're going to play action. As an offensive lineman, when you can run the ball and play action and RPO, you're offensive line friendly. But if you're playing on your heels all the time, that's not being offensive line friendly. And you have to change your mentality and say, to keep our quarterback upright, we got to be tough and we got to be physical, but we got to be going forward first so we can go backwards. It just has to change. Now you watch college ball, you can't tell the difference what's a run and pass by offensive tackle. They come off the same way all the time. But there is no, there's no run threat of aggressiveness.
Not the way it once was. And that's why, like this year.
It's also a completely different game, though, schematically.
Yes.
So that's also played into it, too.
It is to a certain extent.
How many snaps are in the shotgun? Think about that.
Yeah, but that's by what you decide to do.
No, I agree.
Right.
I totally agree.
Yeah, but if you change that, that's why you look at the 49ers, he tries to create a little bit more balance. Like a hardball, he tries to keep a little more balance in that because, we aren't
Harbaugh's running four tights at sometimes, too.
Right. So you use the personnel. We used a lot of different personnel groups to kind of keep people honest and balanced. Okay? But you still had to find a way to score points because they want you to score points, but you also have to find a way to dominate the clock. You have to make the clock your friend and be a defensive-orientated thinking team.
A la ground and pound.
Yeah.
Right, but the last thing you just said there is a big problem right now. Be a defensive-oriented team.
You have to. When you look at the Seattle Seahawks, what do you think about Seattle right now?
No, I agree with you. They're defense, but my point is this. You look at that team, and we talked about this earlier this week.
Yeah.
Those 36 turnovers, 34, 36. 36, I think, right? They're not coming back next year. So you better figure out how to stop people.
Well, if you go back to the last two Super Bowl winning teams, obviously Seattle had it, like you're saying, this last year. And then the year before was the ground and pound with Saquon and Philadelphia, who had that big four-man front that terrorized the hell out of Mahomes at the end of that Super Bowl. And so it was the combination of both of those. And the running back has come back to the conversation a little bit.
What the Giants
they did.
They let that guy go.
Yeah. Yeah. They let
him
Saquon
go
out
to
the door.
Philly, and he was the final piece of the puzzle to make that quarterback get to another level.
A better player, right?
It made him a better player. He didn't have to be. And then the RPOs and then the man matchups because they want to play 8 in the box and stop Saquon, right?
So here you go. And listen to these guys, okay? And we just said that there's been a little bit of a rebirth of a running back in the NFL because of what Saquon did.
Yeah.
But Ashton Genty went 6th overall last year. I think it's fair to say the Raiders are right now a big old work in progress. We don't know what they are. Genty wasn't what they were hoping for, and neither was Geno. So anyway, Genty still may have a great career, but he was 6th overall. Bijan Robinson, he's that guy that you're talking about, Coach Ingram. He can do everything. He was 8th overall. Saquon, enough said, 2nd pick in the draft. Leonard, 4th pick in the draft back in 2017. Christian McCaffrey, a top 10 pick the same year that Leonard came out, and we all know how great Run CMC is. And then Zeke Elliott the year before that. No, excuse me. Yeah, the 4th overall the year before that. And so it's been half in, half out, just as far as these running backs are concerned.
Right, but you have to be on the right team with the right mentality and the right play calling.
Yes.
Is what you have to have. But it still starts up front. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are as a quarterback or as a running back. If you don't find a way to have a collective group of linemen that know how to work together in unity to do as much as you can, and the play caller makes a difference. The play caller makes everybody better. The better the play caller, that helps the offensive line, no matter if it's chips, no matter if it's when to call 3-step, when to call 5-step, when to call 7-step. Stay away as much long distance as you can. Okay, you got to be offensive line friendly.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want as a play caller
Once
if
you
you
get
get
that
the
right.
line right. You get the line right and get the tight end right. Now you're working from the inside out. Okay, as opposed to trying to work from the outside in and thinking that this premier whatever player is going to be. It doesn't work. He can't. Why did he not get the pass? Well, we couldn't protect him.
Right.
You know, why the quarterback couldn't do this? Well, he's panicking. Okay. You got to start from the inside out and then go from there. But you got to build a team because you win because of a team, not because of an individual. We got to make that decision on a receiver corner. I don't care what you did a year ago to get the guy. Was he the best guy on the roster to play either side of the ball at that time? Yes, he was. Did you move up to get him? I don't care if you played him both ways or not. If you don't, he was still the best guy. When you look at it, could he been a receiver? He's the best guy. Is he a corner? He's the best guy. Is he a Pro Bowl player right now? No, he's not. Son, you be a Pro Bowl player, then I'll let you be wherever you want to be with you. But the circus is not going to be the circus to win the game at the end of the year, okay? Because if we're going to sit there and watch, hey, is he playing enough here? Is he playing enough here? You know how hard it is to juggle players I did personnel groups all the time.
Drive an assistant coach crazy, right?
Drive you crazy. Trying to make somebody happy because he's not on the field enough. Or GM says, well, we got to see this guy more. We got to see that guy more. Well, they're playing more cover 2. They're playing more cover 5. They're playing more cover 1. You don't know what they're playing coverage-wise. Yeah, he got on the field, but he never got the coverage that you wanted him for. So all of a sudden now he looks terrible because you couldn't match it up to their play call. Win somewhere and win the game. Right now, you look at the model to win. I look at Seattle's defense, and I'm sitting there in my mind when I was watching the game. Hunter looks like their corner. He looks like body type. He looks like one of their corners. Can he be the best in the NFL as a Pro Bowl corner right now to win games, to make sure we stop people?
So you're saying stay there, play there.
Play there. Yeah. And then whatever happens, happens. Because you know what happens when you spot player? This is what used to be. I used to stand on the sidelines. Here's the white flag. All right. They know what, I shouldn't say white flag, but they know, the defense knows how many plays he's in for. Okay. Oh, this guy's in. Well, he only runs a toss play. Oh, this guy's in. He runs a seam ball. Oh, this guy's in. He runs a seam and out. Don't you think they study that too?
Sure.
So if you're not on the field on a consistent basis to actually offshoot when you're running and throwing and what route you're running, you become predictable. You're very predictable. and they make the play call based on when the guy comes on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can he do spot play in certain plays where you know you're going to win on? Well, that's fine, but that's hard in the pass game.
You better
How
have a good
hard is the
offensive
head
line.
coach has got to make calls, handle offense and defense, and please everybody because of the circus? That's hard.
Plus, you better, like you said earlier, it goes all the way back to if you're going to try and win when they know what you're doing, you better have an offensive line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because that's the only way you're going to impose
I
your
mean,
will.
honestly, that goes back to the Bills playoff game. It's 4th and a long 1.5, and they don't have a line that can get the push where you can just turn around and hand it off to a guy and he gets that yards.
But you know what?
You got to
in
do
that
some
game-
kind of funky with Trevor Lawrence on a zone read.
Well, you got to get the zone read right. And that's why I say it's valuable to do RPOs. The RPO in the run game for an offensive lineman is a 3-step drop mentality. That lineman is coming off the ball, and he's sitting some in the mouth, and the ball gets out quick.
Right.
And it can't always be a bubble, okay? So you have the zone read, and 2 levels of RPOs. You know, you've made things a little bit more friendly. Also, on the other side of the ball, they don't know if it's run or pass when you call run it, you know, which is a play-action pass, full run. Other than, what do? We throw a naked out there. After a while, we've seen 1,000 naked, so have they.
Yeah. That ain't a bad thing. All right, let's use that as a breaking point. We're going to get into a little bit more as far as the draft coming up and where this team is with their running back position right now. We've got one of our coaches. We do both sides of the ball with both Gerald Ingram and Mark Duffin on a regular basis. We'll be cranking that back up next week as we look forward to the draft.
XL Primetime.
Driven by Duval Ford. Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Maybe the problem is
Your morning attitude adjustment.
we're coddling these guys too much.
The Drill.
Yeah.
Weekday mornings on 1010XL. Jacksonville's sports radio.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
I just got another NBA offer from Hard Rock Bet.
A Hard Rock Bet promo at the Hard Rock Bet party? That is so meta.
That's not meta. That's Meta World Peace. Meta. Tell them about Hard Rock Bet.
Hard Rock Bet has it all. Live odds for every NBA game, every player prop, same game parlays, you name it. It's the only place I play these days.
Okay, now that is meta.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Yo, ET here. And you know that on the field, preparation wins championships, right? Well, the same goes for your health. Right here in my side of town in Fleming Island, Encore Research Group is helping locals take charge through cutting-edge research studies. Everything from weight loss to diabetes and hypertension. Their team of local, multi-specialty doctors is focused on advancing medicine and keeping our community healthy. If you want to see if you qualify, check them out at encoredocs.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success. Kubota keeps job sites running smoothly with the #1 selling compact excavator lineup in the world. Reliable, capable, and backed by strong dealer support. Stop by today and power up your crew. Right now, bring home select Kubota excavators with 0% financing available or save up to $7,000. Now through June 30th. See store or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer. Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
What if every day felt like a private resort in your backyard? Premier Outdoor Inc., Jacksonville's #1 pool builder in the 2025 Best of Bold City Awards, creates entire outdoor living spaces, not just pools, custom pools, heated spas, summer kitchens, cabanas, fireplaces, screen enclosures, and more. Veteran and first responder owned. Turn your backyard into an unforgettable retreat. See what you could build at premieroutdoorinc.net. Premier Outdoor Inc., a visionary of hardscapes and aquatics.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
When you drive past a Kuhn Flowers location, did you know their inside showroom is filled with gift items? Kuhn Flowers isn't just for sending flowers. Frank Frangie here, and when I need a unique gift, I head for Kuhn Flowers, Beach Boulevard and in Ponte Vedra since 1947. Kuhn Flowers.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, my golden moment is I don't want Travis Hunter to be a jack of all trades and master of none. I want him to be a master of one.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever position they decide to put him in, I'm thinking this corner. I want him to be elite at that position. That's going to help us because I think he's more extinct as a corner. He is a wide receiver. I think he's got a higher ceiling at wide receiver, but I don't want to wait to find out. I'd rather him be elite now than to wait and wander down the road.
I like the master of one because I'm usually jack of all trades, master of none. So, yeah, I like that master of one. Get your craft.
All right, my golden moment was going to be something else, but now it's changed since the break. Now my golden moment is because I got somebody on my side right now. Because I've been talking for a while now. You got to do something to back up quarterback. You've got to do something at that spot. And now coach feels the same way. So
Okay.
I look at this as look, I hate the word hope. I hope Trevor will stay healthy. Hope is not a plan. You've got to look at it as, what if we lose that dude for 4 or 5 or 6 games? Nick Mullins is not going to play well in 4 or 5 or 6 games.
I hope you don't keep bringing that up.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky.
I know, but my point is you've got the plan, man.
Yeah, but you got enough. You got all this talent that's ready to play. Tight end, X, receiver, slot, running back. You're working on offensive line. You're piecing that, and all of a sudden, we ain't gonna talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now that
so let me ask you. Let me ask.
Then that goes down.
Who is going to keep the talent
So
going?
let me ask both of you guys this question, and let's just say I don't think they're going to use all 11 draft picks. Yeah. I don't think they are. But in what round would you say, hey, we need to spend a piece of draft capital when you've just barely rebuilt this roster and, quote, raised the floor? Where would you be looking quarterback in the draft? Fifth round, sixth round?
It's kind of twofold. You got to look at your value board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where you have that guy rated?
Because there's two things. It's just like I had mentioned here, we have Rob Johnson here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, you have Mark Purnell, who's an established guy. Okay, and you're feeling good, but you draft a guy who has value that if he does become your backup, you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you've developed him. But if you have to use him as a trade, that's why you have that value.
It was a
board.
genius draft.
And then you get Freddie
Tom
Taylor.
Coughlin. What did you always say about Rob Johnson, Leon?
Oh yeah, what game did he do? It was a Buffalo game, right?
Yeah.
He played well then.
Yeah,
he was a California kid, laid back,
But he fell a little bit in the draft. That's why you guys got him where you got him.
Fourth
Third round, right?
Third round pick.
We saw the potential there, and but at the same time, there's a lot of reasons you go into the draft, and hopefully it's not when people start coming off that board, and you're looking at this board and that board and the value board, and the GM is saying, why is that 11-0 guy still there? Why is that 8-0 guy? Wait. And then all of a sudden the GM stands up, or somebody else stands up or the owner and says, well, why are we taking this lesser player than that higher value?
And the one thing
they're constantly juggling while the draft's going on in between. There's a lot of things. And then the team calls you and say, hey, we're willing to trade this guy for that.
Which is unbelievable because Rob Johnson got this team Fred Taylor. But we need to remember one other thing.
He also won a couple big games for this team too.
He only played in game. There was that game that Leon's talking about.
He played more than one, didn't he? He only played one?
As far as
No, he played a couple. The one in Baltimore.
As a starter, we're talking about. It was either against, I think it was against Baltimore.
It was a night game.
Because he ended up going to Buffalo.
Yeah, he was going.
But anyway, the other thing is that was 1995 in the draft, meaning they had just barely started this expansion franchise, which you were a part of. So they had the trade to get Mark Brunell a little bit older, and that's why it was smart, number 99 pick overall, when you were just barely building a franchise. That made a lot of sense.
And still had Berline too, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they had signed him in the expansion. So yeah.
Right. So you still were solid.
Well, yeah, that's what you were starting your franchise with.
That's a starter.
my
but
point
he
is,
was only here.
Yeah, Steve Berline left Duval County angry. Okay?
Very. He was at the Pro Bowl still angry at times. It was unbelievable.
He left here angry.
It's like take the chip off your shoulder, dude.
So you're asking me what I would do? Where would I use it?
Yeah, where would you?
I think if a guy like Garrett Nussmeier fell to the 4th round, I'd be very tempted to take him.
Yeah, I don't think for this particular scenario, this team is just now, as we just said, raising the floor. I would not use a 4th round pick on a quarterback right now. CBS Sports came out with a mock where Garrett Nussmeier went in the 3rd round to this team. No.
Yeah,
no.
But see, I want you to understand something. Sometimes you take a pick because it's not because you wanted him, it's because you had to. He's leverage.
Well, and I think the other part of maybe that I would agree with that is that you want someone else to want him.
That's it. Because who say you don't get 2 picks out of that?
Yeah. Very possible.
Right.
And we use the example Mike Shanahan.
Because the other team didn't want him there, but they want him somewhere else.
And I'm just throwing this out there.
Don't keep doing that.
I'm just throwing that out there, man.
That's a whole other deal in itself.
Please
but
stop doing
we're
that.
right about that.
I know we are, and you guys know we're right about it too. You just don't want to talk about it.
No, we're afraid.
It's like life insurance. You don't want to talk about buying the policy. Well, guess what? You better buy it.
None of us getting out here.
Other people are.
I'm going.
I mean, quite honestly, that's exactly what a backup quarterback is, life insurance.
Yeah. And do you know what else has happened with this football team over the years and years and years of existence is that they've had bad players at a lot of positions, and the backup quarterback never got on the field, and they just kept losing.
Okay. All right.
And so now you're getting to a point where you are now.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. You are now putting a lot of good players in the first.
That's, you know what?
22.
I haven't died in the last 25 years, but I still got the life insurance policy.
But we don't have the first pick. We know what we need. We need a penetrating 3 technique.
You better believe it.
In the worst way possible. Let's find a way to shore up the defense and figure out how to tie up the little things on offense.
Yeah, right.
We got to find a way to shore up the defense.
But
because
there in
now,
the 4th
say
round.
the one corner isn't physically ready to play. Who's the other corner now?
Yeah, that's all those questions that got to be answered. You got to collapse the pocket, okay? And
I'm with you on it
100%. Off the spot. That's going to win you a lot.
Make a secondary look a hell of a lot better if we can do that.
Fast forward to November. Why didn't they just take a quarterback in the draft?
Yeah. No.
We're not thinking like that, man.
No.
We're not
Coach
thinking
Ingram,
you're doom and gloom.
All right, so real quick, before we got to turn you loose, if you wouldn't say where you would draft the quarterback, but where would you draft a running back if you had one that you liked on your board late? Let's just say it's a 3rd day pick, which means it's 4th round or beyond. Would you draft a running back this year with Bashal Tuden and Chris Rodriguez in your room, LaQuinn Allen in your room, and who's our other big dude? JJ.
Jackson. LaQuinn and Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, I would.
Where?
I would if
4th,
depending
5th,
on the
6th?
value. Oh, I wouldn't do it until it was 4th or 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, further down. We have other areas we need to clean.
So let me get this straight. You're going to pick you're going to take a 3rd
only because
running
of our
back.
style. Only because of the style of our offense.
Hang on a second, Coach. You're going to take a 3rd running back in the 4th round, but you won't take a backup quarterback in the 4th round.
I didn't say I would
No,
take it.
I didn't say I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I said depending if he's still there. I said if he's still there and the value of that player that we evaluated.
Right.
If we thought he was an 8-0 player with ascending ability and that we could win with no marks, no marks, because there's a lot of things on there, 87733G. Okay. If he's got all that and he's clean and I think he's tradable as well, hell yeah, I'm going to take that guy.
Because a quarterback's always going to be worth what?
Yes.
1.5 to 10 times more than another draft pick if he can show value to another team. That I agree with. But Cade Klubnik keeps popping up on my draft board in the 5th or 6th round.
I'm not saying Cade Klubnik. Okay?
Let's just make sure that's clear. Coach Ingram, thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. It's XL Primetime.
XL Primetime, driven by big #1 Duval Ford, the #1 place to buy your next vehicle. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios, brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Now's the perfect time to order logo coffee mugs, or maybe a logoed stick brand tumbler. They're seriously ice cold and look great with your company logo. HardballCreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Divorce, menonly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this week and weekend at ViStar Ballpark. Tomorrow, it's Wear It Home Wednesday. T-shirt giveaway presented by Ambetter Health and Prime Shrimp. The weekend starts on Coors Light Thirsty Thursday, plus fireworks Friday and Saturday. Baseball all week and weekend. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
A no-risk, all-rewards path to real weight loss? Awaken 180 is so confident in your success, if you're not happy with your results in the first week, get 100% of your money back. No risk, every reward. Awaken180weightloss.com.
La playa is Spanish for the beach. If you can't remember that, the word Corona also works. Corona, La Playa awaits.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. on 1010XL.
Good conversation with one of our coaches, Gerald Ingram. Always a treat when both he and Duff pop in whenever we have Coach Campo on. Always good. And when you think about the running back position and where this football team will go, we'll find out ultimately if they have the guy to replace ETN here in the city of Jacksonville, or if they'll look maybe later in the draft, maybe Saturday, another selection for that room. It's going to be, honestly, real fun to watch and see how Jimmy Gladstone's operates with those 11 picks. Does he use them all? Does he trade up? Is there going to be a big bold move, a big swing? Like we said, for now, he has mentioned that they don't have a first-round pick.
What kind of conversation you think they have with Tootin? That's a heavy load to carry, bro.
It is, but I think we really are going to find out a lot about the way they coach their guys up now with a full offseason of the playbook in their hand, the strength and conditioning program on full tilt, everything that they will get going now that the offseason workouts are getting cranked, that the expectation, wouldn't you agree, Leon, is going to go up?
Yeah, it's going to go. Yeah, it's going to skyrocket.
Yeah,
if we haven't seen him tote it the whole full season.
Right. And so basically they're saying, hey, first off, you from your college year to your first pro year, your rookie year, you cleaned up the way you were coughing up the football at Virginia Tech. That's a big plus. You got those tough yards inside when we needed it. You got in the end zone. That's big. You caught the ball out of the backfield and scored from space. So I think there's a lot of positives, and find out whether or not they can.
We'll see.
Yeah, when he's the engine. All right, speaking of engines, I don't know.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
I try and work the segues in, Taylor Dahl.
You said that, you're like, wait, that's
I
Taylor.
don't know what that means, actually, but it's fine.
Yeah, but
Transition.
Anyway. Elvis and Neil's getting ready to crank. There you go, with the engine. There you go, getting ready to crank up. So a good argument or a good discussion with Gerald Ingram as far as where this football team is at, and what Big Surse is saying is real, is that Bashal, it ain't just a part-time gig, it's a full-time gig.
Yeah. The running back room, I think, will be really interesting because and you didn't see a ton of. There were moments where the flashes, obviously the postseason game was one of those that you didn't see in the second half, but in the first half you saw what you felt was almost a breakout for him.
I think you just said run the damn ball in the second half.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But you didn't see a ton. Can he be that guy that is that RB1 and, can carry the bulk of the team? And that obviously they went and they signed Chris Rodriguez, who has familiarity with Liam Cohen. But some people I've talked to are like, he just hasn't really had the chance at the NFL level. Other people said there's a reason for that. I don't think he can be a running back one. So it'll be interesting. And I think that is one of the more fun parts of this draft this year, Joe, is because some of the answers to the questions we're talking about now, I think, are going to be answered with those first 3 picks of where they go: defensive tackle, edge, running back, tight end. Like, some of those questions we have are going to be answered pretty quickly in the draft.
I honestly, I'm jonesing for it. I can't wait. All right, what's coming up?
Yeah, so we will talk about some of that too. We also have Zach Goodall coming on to talk some of the Gators spring game. He couldn't join us yesterday, so he's going to hop on today to recap some of that and the quarterback conversation going on with the Gators right now. But lots of Gators, lots of Jags, and getting ready for the draft.
All right, sounds good, Taylor.
Thanks, guys.
We will be listening. Helmets and
Machine.
Heels coming up. Yeah, the machine. Yeah. She's part of our draft proceedings next week too. So
She's our Bear Scout.
Yeah. So getting in on it. JJ is filling out our second half of the media mock draft, and she'll be repping the Bears. The Bears. All right, we're done. We enjoyed it. Big Surge 2 days in a row. What does he do?
2 days in a row, man.
And he brings in lunch.
And we'll have more tomorrow.
And JJ's bringing lunch tomorrow.
Nice.
You're so spoiled. So spoiled.
You can thank Bryson DeChambeau for that. And Fred Couples.
Yes.
Freddie flipping Couples. Boom, boom, he said. All right, we are done. Helmets and Heels is coming up next. Miss any of the show, just go back, grab YouTube, search 1010XL, and punch in XL Primetime, and go back and listen to the show. We would appreciate it, that's for sure. We are done. Big Surge, Maddie, Joe C, and JJ.
XL Primetime from the big #1 Duval Ford Studio.